Hello, and welcome to the Cool Kids live spoiler review and discussion of Christopher Nolan's latest blockbuster film, The Odyssey. My name is Kitchen Whiskey Jones, better known as Mark, and I'm of course joined by Cinematic Sterling, the right dude, and my main man down here, the geek informant. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, let's go over, you already know the format. So first of all, let's go over our categories. Let's start off with, as we always do, with expectations. Now, my expectations were sky high here, as I'm sure probably everybody's were. I mean, because it's Christopher Nolan. He's probably the most consistent director in the industry, as far as putting out good quality films that get a lot of praise, a lot of review. A lot of praise. I'd say probably his most controversial one was maybe Tenet, which probably was maybe too complex or convoluted, depending on how you view it. But still, the man is just a hit factory. One big hit after another. I know when I was buying tickets that almost every theater, because I picked up my daughter, we went to see it in Raleigh, my daughter's working at a Girl Scout camp for the summer, went to pick up her, we went to Raleigh, which is nearby, and I was looking at the different theaters, and almost every showing at every theater was almost sold out. So, but that's just how big this guy is, and I'm a huge fan of his. Many of my favorite movies of in the recent years have been his, including Oppenheimer, which won the Oscar a couple years ago. Finally won him a Best Director Oscar. So my expectations were sky high here. So Devin, what about you?
Just like you, expectations were absolutely sky high. When I heard that Sir Christopher Nolan, got to add the Sir because he was knighted, was doing the Odyssey.
Also, sorry to cut you off. And he is also president of the Directors Guild, so he is technically Sir President Christopher Nolan. Just like to add that too.
Sir President Christopher Nolan. Are we gonna? Might as well throw in Sir Christopher Nolan, CBE, Commander of the British Empire. But it's Sir Christopher Nolan. I've consistently liked or loved all of his movies. The only movies from him I don't love are The Dark Knight Rises, and I'm sorry, I thought Tenet sucked ass. But 2023, we had Oppenheimer, which is a movie that we all unanimously loved. It earned the Best Picture winner. I'm a sucker for World War II, so I absolutely adored that. But when I found out he was adapting The Odyssey, I just thought, that's perfect. If there's someone that can adapt this story, it's him. Even though I've never read The Odyssey, I still think, someone like him can handle something epic of that scale. Even with the controversial casting decisions, like how they casted a trans person to play what, Achilles?
No,
Sign
not
on.
Achilles.
Sign on.
Sign on.
Yeah. This is what happens. This is what happens when you sleep until 1 in the afternoon because of a concert. When they cast a trans person to play that character, then they're mixing up, adding different races and stuff, and everyone's getting all about it. Looking at you, Elon Cucks. And I'm like, who cares? The movie looks amazing. Wait till the movie comes out before you judge the performance. And surely enough, this movie was getting all kinds of critical acclaim. So I had a feeling that Nolan is just going to show people how it's done again. And he did. And
Oh, I
All
just
right.
wanted to say that that was a big factor for me too. The Odyssey is literally one of my favorite stories of all time. For me, it's the greatest
Yeah.
adventure story of all time. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll go next. So, in terms of this movie, I actually had high expectations. You know, it's Christopher Nolan. Um, Pretty much 9 times out of 10, he's gonna pretty much make a banger. You know, I loved Oppenheimer, loved Interstellar, Inception, and Memento is my favorite of his. Um, but and, so when and in terms of the Odyssey, I actually remember reading the book when I was in high school. I was actually a freshman in high school. That year, I remember 3 books we had to read. It was the Odyssey, Romeo and Juliet, and then there was one more that I really can't think of. So I don't remember what that one was. So, but I do remember reading the Odyssey. And funny enough, so did my brothers, both my older brother and my younger brother. They had to read it in high school too. So, um, but yeah, I remember that. And I also remember liking the 1997 miniseries, you know. I like the miniseries. I actually rewatched it recently on Tubi, so I still think it holds up very well. So my expectations were really high. So and I end up seeing it at 9 o'clock on Thursday. Ironically, besides me, there were only 6 people in the theater. You know, I was kind of surprised, but then again, I'm not really surprised since this was at 9 o'clock at night. You know, who's really going to be up for that? You know, except for people like me who work in the afternoons and evenings at their job. So, but anyway, I'll let Geek Informant speak.
So I had very, very high expectations when it was announced. I was like, holy shit, that's a huge undertaking, and especially even for Nolan. But I had all the faith in him, especially after that first trailer. Um, I forget what movie it was in front of, but I, watching this and watching that trailer, and then pretty much every trailer after that, even people even outside of the controversial acting, casting choices, people were like, oh, it doesn't look good, it's too dark, it's this, it's that. And I'm like, I don't know, I didn't see that. I still thought it was fantastic. I just, the only thing is, like, how do you do this massive story in only 3 hours? That was the only, like, curious thing, how he would manage to execute that. But I thought all the choices for the cast was great. Like, it was, it was a big, I never read the story. I did not, failure of the public school system on my account, so don't blame me. But I was still super excited. I mean, I know the Odyssey from pop culture zeitgeist, and also being a gigantic Percy Jackson fan, that also definitely helped that. I do love mythology. I always found Greek mythology to be very, very intriguing. It wasn't just because of that, but I also really liked it when I learned it in, like, ancient history and stuff like that. So I do love Greek mythology. I love all those stories. I think they're so interesting. It helps, growing up with, like, Disney Hercules, and Percy Jackson, like, basing off the, like, pop culture zeitgeist of it all, that helped too. So I was pumped for this. Like, it combined a lot of aspects that I love. I love, I love good adventure stories. I love Nolan. I love Greek mythology. I loved the cast, and I love the look of the film. So I had definitely very, very big expectations, even though I've actually never seen a single proper Odyssey adaptation, so I don't know if what that makes me. But yeah, I mean, I love Nolan. I love most of his films. I think the only ones that I am kind of iffy on are probably Interstellar and Dunkirk. Um I think those are decent films, but not great. But the rest of them that I've seen, I haven't seen every single one, but from the vast majority. Um, I've loved his work. So I was pumped. Nothing was gonna dismay me. Nothing was gonna be like, oh God, no. Oh my God, one of the most beautiful actresses working today is casted as the woman that lost 1,000 ships. That's crazy, bro. That's so crazy. Especially when she has less than 10 minutes of screen time. Oh no. Oh my God. But yeah, I think this is. I thought I was like, yeah, let's go. I can't wait for July 17th, and it's here and we're talking about it, and it's just very exciting. So let's get this shit started. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, because Nolan, one of the things like we were discussing before we started the stream is that how, one thing that, is how Nolan has typically been a very grounded director. Like with his Batman, his Dark Knight trilogy, he created a very grounded Batman, without all the fantastical elements. So a lot of people were thinking, how is he going to adapt this? Is he going to try to ignore the magic, ignore the gods? No, he put him in there. I mean, he had him, he did, and he kind of brought up I like how he did with Athena. He brought up the possibility that it was just a vision, that it was, it could have been just a hallucination on his part due to PTSD, because she at least appeared to him as this priestess. This priestess at a temple of Athena in Troy, who was like executed right before her eyes. They just dragged her out of the temple and executed her. And she just pleaded with him, please don't, please help me. And he just stood there, just stunned, as they just cut her head off, so killed her. So, but I like how he leaves it open-ended. You can leave it up to interpretation like that. But I mean, he committed to it. Like, you see actual magic. You do see Cersei turning the men into pigs in the most brutal way that I've ever fucking seen. I mean, like, there were parts of this film that were actually frightening, but I mean, I guess we'll say that for the positive.
Oh, that. Yeah, I was gonna say that scene and the part with the Cyclops are like straight out of a fucking horror movie.
Oh yeah, like
yeah.
Jack during the film said, like, this is really scary. Like during the things, like, holy shit, that's really scary.
I know, right?
Yeah, so I mean, he put real, true horror in this. I mean, it's like this was the
Like
most
the big transformation, the Cyclops. I mean, even the scene with where they have to choose between the path of Celia or Charybdis, and they choose Celia. It's taken,
Scylla and Charybdis.
I thought it was pronounced Scylla. I don't know. I'll go with what you say.
Yeah. Scylla and Charybdis. But I mean, yeah. So I mean, but yeah, that was. I mean, but he fully committed. And the thing is, the monsters all looked fantastic. Scylla herself looked absolutely horrifying.
It did, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Polyphemus,
Holy
holy crap! Like he was.
Yeah. Polyphemus. He honestly looked like he looked like a giant one-eyed golem in a way.
He looked like he was just like deformed, like so I mean, but yeah, I mean, he fully commits to it. Holy crap. I mean, yeah, and he actually put real terror in it. The thing is, the major theme of this movie that I really love, and I figured he would do this, is he focused on Odysseus as suffering PTSD, as a victim of PTSD from this 10-year-long war. And I love that historically he put it in the context of the late Bronze Age collapse. Like he mentions the Sea Peoples. The Sea Peoples were the peoples that, in ancient documents, it talks about these Sea Peoples who kept invading civilizations on the coast, and being one after the other and just absolutely destroying them. I mean, historians have been debating for hundreds of years who were the Sea Peoples, who the hell were the Sea Peoples, and so I mean, there's still like various theories out there about what the Sea Peoples were, who the Sea Peoples were. So I mean, he put it within that context of the late Bronze Age collapse, and I think that was one reason he kind of had them looking that way, that looking that way kind of dingy, rather than putting all the whole colorful armor in here. This was about the collapse of civilization. That's really what this was about. And, you know, and a man suffering PTSD. It's kind of a can you come home again thing with Odysseus, because, and, you know, they did this, the same thing in, I don't know if you saw The Return from last year with Ray Fiennes.
I never got a chance to watch it.
Yeah, I saw that.
I
It was
never
really, really good. Highly recommended, because that one focuses specifically on the last part of the book where he comes home. You know, the last part of the poem where he comes home. And, you know, and this one, I was wondering how they would do it this one. And I loved The Return. I really, really did. But this one did kind of the same, and that one did kind of the same thing, focusing on him as a victim of PTSD and how does he come home again, you know? So, I mean, and how he doesn't kind of feel like he's back home, you know, because I mean, he does, but at the same time he doesn't, because he's not the same person as when he left at all. So, I mean, yeah, and he comes home scarred. So he gives him a happier ending that he got in mythology, because in mythology, oh, wow, he kind of lost his mind after he came home. You know, like it was happy at first, of course, but I mean, he kind of lost his mind eventually. And yeah, it kind of turned really ugly for a while. But I mean, I did like that he got a happy ending in the end. But, you know, it is the same. It's pretty very faithful to the story of the Odyssey. He just does what Nolan does, and he tells it in nonlinear fashion, which, you know, Christopher Nolan just loves to do. You know, I mean, he tells it in nonlinear fashion, tells the same story from multiple points of view, You know, it's very, you know, he does have all the fantastical elements, but it still feels kind of in a more gritty and grounded way, if that makes sense. Like even the monsters, even Polyphemus, the Cyclops, and, you know, even the sirens and everything, they look like they belong there. They don't look like they're, you know, they don't look like fantastical elements. They look just kind of like natural things. They look like they really belong in that world. You know, so I mean, and you know, like I said, when Cersei turns the men into pigs, it's one of the most horrifying. It's absolutely horrifying, and it goes on for a good while, because it's like she's reshaping their bodies. Like,
yeah, it's great. It's great, like body horror effects. At first, I thought they were like, I thought they were gonna turn to dogs or something.
Yeah, and I really loved. Another thing I really loved was I loved that with Cersei, because I mean, I read that book. There are two books written by the same author, you know, and one is the Song of Achilles, about, you know, Achilles and the Trojan War and all that, and the other one is Cersei, about Cersei herself. And, you know, and it's, I was wondering how they're going to do her. And I really, really like the way they did her in this novel. I really, really love the way they did her, because in this movie, because, you know, Nolan has her as this woman talking about it and putting it within the context of these soldiers coming home committing depredations, because that is exactly the kind of thing that happened. You know, that is the kind of thing that happens in war. Soldiers raping and burning and looting, and women especially, you know, victims of rape. You know, whenever there's a war, women are typically the worst sufferers, you know, in war. So, I mean, when she turns them into pigs, you know, he portrays it as like, this is what I love about it. He portrays it as like, this is their real nature, which is straight from the point. You know, and she's like, and I love what she says when he convinces her to turn them back. She turns them back into human form. She tells them, back into your disguises, back into your disguises. She's like, this is their real nature. This is what they really are. They're pigs. You know, they're pigs. So, I mean, she turns them from pigs back into men, and she's like, back into your disguises, back into your disguises. So I love that. But yeah, I thought they did a really, really good job. You know, the acting, of course, was fantastic. I mean, the cast is amazing here. You know, I mean, John Bernthal, he did amazing as Menelaus. Really, really loved him as Menelaus. Telemach as Tom Holland as Telemachus was really, really good. I saw you could really tell the way that he grew up just from that trip, because before he goes on that trip searching for his father, going to Menelaus, searching for his father, he is a boy. You're right. He is a boy. He's kind of weak, unsure of himself. When he comes back, this guy comes back as a man. So he comes back completely different, looking and feeling like a man who's in command, which just goes to show Tom Holland is one hell of an actor. Of course, Anne Hathaway is fucking amazing as Penelope. So the cast, Lupita Nyong'o is incredible, of course, as Helen and Clytemnestra. So, it's amazing. So it's honestly, I can't say enough about this film. The visuals, the giants as well. I mean, another horrifying thing. So, who was that? Oh, there's my man. How's it going?
Oh, I'm good. I'm in the middle of I'm driving in this shitty ass weather, so shit. I just left the theater, and I was dropping my friend off, so but what a fucking movie, huh?
Yeah.
Shit.
Really?
Totally.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna be here for long, so I just want to say one thing and one thing only, and I hopefully, I'm not the only one who said this, but I gotta give a round of fucking applause to fucking Tom Holland, because shit.
I was just talking about him.
I'm so glad and happy that Tom Holland finally had a fucking movie that wasn't dog shit. Because seriously, his streak outside of Spider-Man was fucking terrible and very unlucky. God, he had Onward, he had Cherry, he had, oh my God, I have
Uncharted.
Uncharted, it was so inconsistent, and it's unfortunate because he's a really good actor. Oh my God, sorry for coughing. Literally like a fucking popcorn kernel that's literally stuck in my fucking throat. Jesus. I literally burped, and now I feel like there's something in my throat. But anyways, he was great in this movie, and I was so I kind of felt like he was the main character in a sense. I know that Odysseus is who we follow, but I felt like he was more of the main character. Because
it did follow out his story, yeah, and I like that, yeah. Because
the first from what I remember from the book is that they the first few chapters did follow Telemachus before it shipped over to Odysseus.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, it's but yeah, I agree with you. I was just talking about that, man, saying the same thing. Tom Holland did amazing. I mean, he did a standout job in this. The character development, like I was saying, but you could tell the difference in his character, the growth, just from that journey, that he made in search for his father, where he talked to Menelaus, I love his line that he says to Menelaus, Menelaus is like, sorry, I couldn't help you with your father, help you learn more about your father. He's like, no, you did tell me about your father. You told me about what happened to you. No, he said, sorry, I couldn't tell you what happened to your father. He said, no, you did help me. He's like, you told me about him. So you told me about him and who he was. So, but yeah, I thought, of course, Matt Damon, of course, was fucking Matt Damon, and Jesus Christ, he was kicking ass like he was back in Jason Bourne days again, man. Jesus, I mean, and he looked fucking shredded in this movie, did he not?
No, he did.
Jesus, man, my God, I seeing him, I want to see Matt Damon play in a Dark Knight Returns movie, man. Play Batman in a Dark Knight Returns movie. I swear.
Well, it's funny you say that, because literally at the end with the climax with the suitors, he's using the bow and arrow. I'm just thinking to myself, man, I know it'll never happen in a million years ever again. But Christopher Nolan would direct one hell of a fucking Green Arrow movie. I just
Oh,
kept thinking that
jeez.
throughout the whole fucking
Oh,
time.
that would.
So I
Oh,
was like,
jeez.
God damn.
That would be-
He has said he's never going to direct another superhero film, which is fine. Like, respect it 100%. But it's just like, God damn. That would be amazing. Holy shit.
Yeah,
I know one of Warner Brothers is kicking themselves for screwing him over because like the amount
Oh,
of
yeah.
fucking money that this movie is gonna make, on top of the money he made from Oppenheimer, like shit, y'all should have never screwed fucking Christopher Nolan over because he could have made you so much money with these last two projects. Now what? You lost yourself a good fucking director who did
Well,
nothing
isn't
but
this
bring you
Paramount?
money.
No, this is Universal.
It's Universal.
Oh, Universal.
It's-
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right. He went
Universal.
Universal. My bad. Yeah, you went Universal. Yeah,
Yeah, like-
but I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right. But yeah, because I mean, they screwed. But I mean, Warner Brothers was bought by AT&T, and they had no earthly idea what they were doing. So I mean, you had people who had no earthly idea how to run a movie studio, running a movie studio, and they ran off. I mean, more than him, they ran off a whole bunch of talent. So I mean, with that decision, but yeah, I agree. They're definitely kicking themselves. But I mean, but yeah, but I mean, honestly, I can't say enough about the film. I mean, the cinematography, of course, was incredible. I mean, the music. I mean, what Christopher Nolan does is he crafts cinematic experiences. That's what he does. I mean, his movies are made to be watched in the theater. So I mean, and I didn't see this one in IMAX. I might go back to the theater to see it in IMAX.
I'm actually thinking about because next weekend I'm seeing it again with my brothers.
Yeah.
I might actually just watch this in IMAX because I want to watch this because I'm watching it at the Alamo Draft House with my brothers next weekend.
Yeah.
But I might say screw it. I'm gonna see it for a third time and see it.
I was going to go there, but it was like too packed. Like the only seats they had were all the way in the front row, and I was like, no, I'm not. I know I may have to sit near the front, and I did. And I had to sit in like row C. But like,
that's what I did, and it was so uncomfortable for like it was. I wouldn't say it was uncomfortable, but at the same time, it was like, dude, I would be having so much of a better time watching this movie if I wasn't at the fucking front.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm glad that I saw the movie. Again, Nolan proves because like I'm about to leave, so I just wanted to like say my closing thoughts. But
you're fine.
Like Christopher Nolan once again like just shows us why going to the movies matters. Like watching this movie in the theater is a fucking must. Watching anything of Nolan on the internet or illegally streamed is a fucking disservice. He has done way too much to be disrespected. The fact that fans were really saying that he was a sellout or selling out for the woke crowd because how dare he have a black woman play Athena of Troy or a transgender man.
They know black people existed in the ancient world, right?
Like even though like they were like y'all are complaining, but they weren't even in the movie for that long, and even then they were fucking great, and that's what fucking matters.
Exactly.
Like y'all were like slandering this man's name all because of the fact that he had fucking Travis Scott, which Travis Scott surprisingly was decent in this fucking movie.
Seriously, he did damn good.
I mean, he was in the movie for like 2 minutes, but yeah.
Yeah,
but like
I heard he's actually a really good actor.
But like but when I saw it, I wasn't like, oh my god, it's Travis Scott. I'm like, oh god, like it's Travis Scott doing a good job acting.
He's kind of like Helen of Troy in real life because he got people killed.
Yeah, totally.
But
Exactly.
yeah, but like I feel like with once again like Christopher Nolan made a great movie. Honestly, I feel like when it comes to this movie, it reminded me, it gave me elements of The Dark Knight Rises mixed with Inception, mixed with Interstellar, mixed with a little bit of The Prestige, especially with the ending. I really like the ending with like Odysseus and Penelope and them sailing off, and it tied back to what Penelope wanted from the. It literally gave me The Dark Knight Rises vibes with the ending.
That's
with,
true.
Alfred,
Good point.
With Alfred and what he wanted to see from Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm sorry I can't be in the chat long, but I gotta go. So
hey, real quick, what's your score?
I'd give it a 9.
9 out of 10.
Not his best film, not his best. Oppenheimer is still the best in my opinion, but I would say it's up there with like the likes of Interstellar and Inception.
Yeah. So, all right, brother, you take it easy, man. Drive safely.
Right, thank you. I will.
Later, man.
Later, guys.
Peace out.
All right. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, honestly, everything was just perfect to me. So I'm gonna finally shut up and let you guys get a word in.
I mean, we were basically doing freeform.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah, that's
much.
fine. Ludwig Göransson's score gave me a chub.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yeah. That score is just, oh God.
That
When
dude
is
just
Ludwig Göransson
proves-
ever given a bad score?
I mean, that dude just proves time and time again he's one of the best composers working today. Him, Michael Giacchino, you know, who else? Thomas.
Yeah, you're still here.
Jay.
Jay, Mark, go ahead and just go ahead and put him backstage.
Just put him backstage.
Put him backstage. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, that man has never given a bad score ever.
Fun fact, I know that. But I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I was going to
No,
say,
you're good.
Mark, I know you didn't watch our Pixar ranking, but can you guess what Pixar movie Ludwig Göransson did score? Because he did score one, and don't spoil it, you two.
I don't even remember.
Inside Out?
Turning Red.
Oh, Turning Red. Okay, geez, yeah. Well, that's
That
Oh,
makes
he's
sense
listening.
because that score was actually really fucking good, and
Yeah,
it kind of did what this did. It's like that was very like Asian inspired for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. This one, you know, it's like, I mean, okay, don't get me wrong, I love Nolan, and it's just so weird because it's like, you know, with Nolan's like, oh, Ludwig, you can't use an orchestra because those things didn't exist back then. I'm like, yeah, Cyclops don't fucking exist either, you chud.
Neither
Like, what the
neither
fuck
do
are you talking
neither do
about?
neither do sea monsters or sirens.
Or witches.
You know, so I just found it to be that really fun. Like, did he still give us a great score? Yes. And it does fit a lot better, like 100%. Like, it does fit. So, you know, I didn't mind that. But yeah, his score, excellent. I think most of the cast was excellent. I just want to say my parents didn't agree with me on this, but for me, the best performance in the film, for me personally, was 100% Robert Pattinson. Robert Pattinson
Oh, yeah.
just
Oh,
He
so
played a great asshole.
proves
He was a
that he is absolutely 110% a generational talent.
Yeah.
And he just exudes every sort of just like like everything about it, like even the little like mannerisms like he has of like, noticing little things around him, because he's fucking, that's the problem, is he's not just a fucking asshole, and he's not just a like not only just wants Penelope and all that shit. Dude's fucking smart. He reads a goddamn room, and he knows what to do and what to say to make sure he gets what he wants. And that was just brilliant. Like little like smirks and like eye twitches and like eyebrow like stuff. Like I
Yeah.
was noticing his mannerisms, like, like, oh, I think when he's about to kill Telemachus towards the end of the film, like he raises his dagger, but then he like notices, like gives like a smirk, and he notices something and he puts it away, and like just stuff like that is stuff I really noticed about his character, and he just fucking did just an amazing job. Like, you fucking just when fucking Odysseus finally kills the fucker, like that's like
Oh, yeah.
was so cathartic.
Serious.
But Robert Pattinson, like, I can't imagine anybody else this year giving that good of like I have a strong feeling he'll get that supporting actor Oscar 100%. Like the fact that the only other like nomination worthy performance I've seen all year is from an anthropomorphic rock just goes to show that, like, it's not, the supporting stuff hasn't been great. It's been fine, but like it's but like those two performances for me are like the best. Like everyone else is just like kind of whatever. But we'll see what happens in like the latter half of the year. But
yeah, I agree though with you, John, because I mean he was fucking fantastic. Jesus,
he
I mean,
was so like
he
was
does
acting,
those subtle facial movements
like
and everything.
here's the thing.
Yeah,
While I do agree, I agree with you. Tom Holland gave a great performance. I don't all these other. Oh, he's just fucking playing Spider-Man again. I'm like, you're a fucking moron.
No, he's no, he's not.
No,
No,
he's not. You're just sick of seeing Tom Holland, so you just have a hate boner against him. So like, whatever. But like, I feel kind of bad in a way because that's who. I mean, Tom Holland is interacting with Robert Pattinson the most throughout most of
Mhm.
this movie, so I feel kind of bad for him because Tom Holland's great. But then he's acting with Pattinson, who's just fucking acting circles around him. Like, I don't, and again, it sucks to say that because Tom Holland's really good in this movie.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
shows that this guy, he can fucking act. It's
Yeah.
like, as much as I enjoy his Spider-Man, even though most of his movies are pretty terrible, it's just like, it's like, okay, we finally get a great performance from him. And then the one person he's acting with the most is the one that's like giving a career defining performance
seriously.
that, you know, would make Laurence Olivier blush. Okay, maybe not that far,
Yeah.
but you know, he's still like, I was just like in amazement with how good he was. I mean,
They've
both,
been in a film before though. They've been in a film together before, The Devil All the Time, which
yes,
I like.
that was, yes.
Haven't
I
seen that one.
really, really love that film.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
heard Devil All the Time is really good. I haven't seen it, but I am aware of the film.
Yeah.
Um,
And a
but-
lot of people hated his accent in there, but me, I'm like, that sounds like a kind of accent a Southern preacher would have. Because I mean, I've heard Southern preachers with that kind of high pitched, funny.
but yeah,
accent.
I thought Matt Damon was great.
Yeah.
Like
Me,
my mom,
Damon.
it was funny because my mom was asking me like, oh, if you like, because like she asked me because we went to dinner afterwards. She asked me like, oh, if you could like, she just sort of like making conversation about the movie, like who would you cast as Odysseus? I'm like, I literally cannot think of anybody right now because Matt Damon did such a good job.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I know, again, like people, I've seen a lot of people. There are people that are kind of distracted by celebrity status in this, and I can kind of see it a little bit because there are people that are like, oh, they didn't do a terrible job. It's just like it's a little distracting sometimes when it's like, oh, I don't really see the character. I just see, oh, that's Matt Damon. Oh, that's Anne Hathaway, which I can see like a little bit. Like I personally was entranced with most people's performances in this movie, but I can see like, oh, you know, Nolan casts a lot of celebrities, so you know but the thing is, celebrities that do a good job. That's the thing.
Exactly.
But Matt Damon,
And these are all people he's worked with before.
yes,
You know?
and
Yeah.
that was great. Another one, I don't want to say shocking because I know he's good, but I was like, wow, he's also really good. I would say he's probably my second or third. I would say third favorite performance. Was Himesh Patel as Odysseus' right-hand man. I forget his name.
Oh God, I keep forgetting his name. I kept forgetting his
Oh.
name. I know exactly who you mean though. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, the Indian guy.
Yeah,
forget
I know.
his name,
I know who you're talking about too. I
Yeah,
don't remember his
he
name either.
did really fucking good. Like, his thing is, he's been in like he was in Tenet for a little bit. He was also in Yesterday, and I like that movie. But like, I'm like, okay, he's a good actor. Like, I don't. But I was like, he had a lot of time to shine in this movie. I was like, oh my god, he's really fucking good. Like,
Mhm.
and I was like, damn, maybe it's the power of Nolan. Maybe it's just like, oh, he unlocked something. I don't know. Or he's just a really good actor and hasn't had the time to shine yet. But I really like it's just the way he talks with Odysseus and the way like he had a good like authoritative stance. He played a good soldier. He was combative with Odysseus, but it felt like from a good place.
Mhm.
Like when they were like planning the mutiny, because I mean, we saw so much of like the rage of Poseidon, even though we never saw Poseidon in the film. We did see a lot of that, like when they were, you know, on the seas and Poseidon was being a dickhole for, you know, kind of obvious reasons. But I think that the way he interacted with Matt Damon a lot, Matt Damon's a terrific actor, so the fact that he held his own against Matt Damon was also very, very good. And then Samantha Morton as Cersei. I mean, this was the one scene that a lot of people were talking about. I'm like, oh my God, how good can the scene be? And I'm like, oh yeah, that's good. Between that scene and the scene with the Cyclops, I'm like, okay, Christopher Nolan needs to direct a fucking horror movie fucking yesterday, now. Like
the scene with the giants
100%.
too. My God, how horrible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was phenomenal. And then like the subtlety of the trees moving, I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
But Samantha Morton, like as you guys were saying before, like as she fucking like rearranges like their faces and their skin, really good, really well done. And the thing is, I love how she, kind of went from like sort of like, oh, I'm just a woman on this island, I don't know what you're talking about, like kind of that, not like stupidity, but just kind of that like listless kind of like, oh, I'm just here doing my thing, like I don't know what you're talking about, like that kind of like, just like, again, not naivete, but just kind of out there, like just a little bit of strangeness, but like relatively normal. And then she just, when she's like talking with Odysseus after she turns the pigs back into men, it's just like she has this like, just this nature to her cadence that's just like uncomfortable, and it works so well. Because I mean, I don't know a ton about Cersei like mythological wise, but I mean I know a little bit, so I think Samantha Morton did that beautifully. Like she went back and forth. Like, really
Go ahead, Rob.
No, I mean, it just, I mean, I felt like they was, for the Cersei thing, it did seem kind of very accurate and all. I mean, it's not exactly, because I kind of wish that we had got to see because I mean, obviously certain characters were omitted in this movie. Like Hermes did play a big part, because he was the one that warned Odysseus about Cersei's witch power magic, and saying like, to turn your men back, you have to seduce her and you have to sleep with her. So, and that, I do know that part. So with Cersei, was there something, and then I think it was like they were on that island for a whole year, was that right?
Yeah,
3 years.
like that. Yeah, there were.
Wasn't it 3 years?
I don't think it was. I think it was like a year or two or something like that.
I think it was only 1 year. I thought it was 1 year. So,
yeah, I think it was like 1 year. Yeah, I think it was like 1 year. Yeah, because he was there for a little while. So yeah, because he actually gave her a son. Yeah, at least in the book he did. So I mean, not. I don't know if it was not the Odyssey in another book I'm thinking of though. But I mean, yeah, he was there like a year. He was there like a year. So, but yeah, I mean, can we talk about the sound design too? Because especially I thought it was great. Like
sound design was
especially during the sirens. The way you heard it muffled, like
you heard it muffled, and then all you see is like Matt Damon just screaming, like he's in pain. That's another thing that looks like it could be out of a horror movie, even though you don't fully hear the siren song.
Yeah.
You could tell like he's like in pain listening to the song.
Oh,
and
another
I love how
one.
cocky he was, like, I'll be the first man to hear it and live. And then you're like, oh, that fucks me up for life. Okay, great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, really. Yeah. And
that's
because
what I
mean, and I love that because that's so Odysseus, because Odysseus was prideful. That was his thing.
I liked that because again, I know I'm probably like, well, that's so obvious. How do you fucking not know that? But like, I didn't read the book, so I don't fucking know, and I only know a little bit about the Odyssey in terms of pop cultures. I guess technically, the only fucking Odyssey adaptation I've seen is "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou," which was barely an adaptation.
Which is a great one.
Yeah, I love "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou."
I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I thought maybe I need to rewatch it. It was years ago.
And there was, I know, and I do, I remember before I read the Odyssey book, my only knowledge of the Odyssey was that Simpsons episode where they parodied it. You know?
And I probably watched the Wishbone episode as a kid because, I watched a lot of Wishbone.
You might like the old, there's an old mini series from the 90s.
Yeah, the 1997.
I love
talking about that.
Yeah, I remember
I-
watching that when it came out. Because even back then I was a big fan of the Odyssey. Going all the
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah, we had to watch that right after we read the book. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, I watched it. I watched it again recently.
Hey, Devin, what were some of your other positives?
I put in the chat like I'm like really like burnt out. I feel like I'm about to pass out.
Yeah.
I'm
You want to
probably-
go ahead and give your final thoughts?
Just give
Yeah,
final
that's-
thoughts.
Yeah, that's why I've been so like quiet. I'm like really tired.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
But hate to abruptly leave you all, but I have absolutely no negatives with this movie. I think the movie is like perfect from beginning to end. From the casting, the acting, the sound design, the pacing, like this movie does not feel like 3 hours. Honestly, I would have been happy with another hour of this.
Mm-hmm.
Just everything about this movie is absolutely top notch. Nolan was the perfect person to bring the story to the big screen because only he can make something this epic. The only other people I can think of that could do that are possibly like Peter Jackson or maybe James Cameron.
Yeah.
Before Avatar. But Nolan, he blessed us with another masterpiece. This is going to make my top 3 of the year. This is going to make my top 3 of the year. I can't recommend this enough. Absolutely give this your money and your time. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Yep. So, I mean, you said it, brother. You said it. It's perfect. So, I mean, you get some sleep and
Have a
take
good night,
care,
man.
Later.
Later.
All right. So,
So we'll go back to any other positives.
Positives, yeah.
Yeah. Oops. Wait,
Hey.
oops. Hi. Sorry.
I mean, hey, you know what? I had to. Don't feel bad. I accidentally did that during the worst of where you were talking about like your 10 through 6, and I accidentally clicked on Jay's number 2.
That's all right.
And
But,
I was telling everyone nobody saw anything.
Yeah,
I don't
but
really
he
know
made a
that.
great point about the pacing too, because like even my girlfriend Jamie, she said like she met us up there and went to the movie with us. Even she said because before she was worried, she's like, "This is a 3-hour movie." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's getting really, really good reviews." So
Yeah,
but even she walked out and said that did not feel like 3 hours at all.
It
No,
did.
I don't
It
think
did,
it felt like
yes.
3 hours.
Honestly,
we
I
all
was-
agreed. Yeah, it did not.
Yeah, because the thing is the fact that I was like, because after I got off, I turned on my phone. I was like, wait, it's already 12 o'clock already? Really?
Mhm.
Or 12 or 12:30? I forgot. No, actually, it was 12:30 because, yeah.
But yeah, I thought what else was there? I thought, I really liked the Cyclops scene, the Cersei scene, Siren, like all of those were really good. And then I really liked, the suitor scene, the climax was really, really well done. I thought that it was very well paced. Maybe was a little slow to get started in the beginning. But it, that was kind of it. Like I never was like bored by it or anything. Sorry. But I do have a couple. I have a couple nitpicks and a couple negatives, but we'll get to that soon enough. But I will say I thought this movie did a lot well. Like, pretty much, I would say like 98% of the acting was stellar. And then, the action scenes were very well shot. They were very dynamic.
The cinematography
Maybe maybe a couple scenes were a little bit awkward, but for the most part, very dynamic, very well done. And I really liked Charlize Theron as Calypso was really good. We haven't mentioned her yet, but she was excellent.
Yes.
Is there anyone we didn't mention acting wise? I mean, Zendaya doesn't really have much of a role in this. She like barely talks, so it's not like.
She was
good for
Anne
what she was
Hathaway
given.
as Penelope.
But I mean,
Yeah,
we'll talk about that
we
later.
haven't
but
mentioned about her yet.
But
We haven't
later,
mentioned about her yet.
But yeah, I thought like most of the crew was really great. I really liked I liked the cinematography. I know a lot of people said, "Oh, it looks bland. It looks not great," but I
I
thought
like the
it was
cinematography.
like the perfect balance between color and like muted tones because I know Christopher Nolan really likes his muted tones. The extended scene later on with the siege of Troy was really good. Like after
Yeah.
they, bring the army in, um after they bring the army in, after they leave the horse
Yes.
there, after they leave it, and then they attack. um and I really like how it does the end because someone else I know made a really good point of this, how the ending of this really mimics the end of Oppenheimer, where
Yes.
it's very much like this is what we did.
Yeah.
Like, Oppenheimer's a little bit more literal because this actually happened. It was like the whole idea of like we started a chain reaction. I believe we did. And then, you see Oppenheimer
Mhm.
seeing the nuclear missiles and what he started um and so like that's not very subtle, but it works of like what the world has become now because of nuclear weapons. So there's that. And then with this, it's like the idea of our mistakes will be forgotten in the sands of
Yeah.
time. Like no matter what, humanity is always doomed to repeat it, always doomed to destroy ourselves, and we don't know when it's gonna be. It could be 10 years. It could be 10,000 years.
Mhm.
We're gonna reach a point where we destroy ourselves permanently. We just don't
Yeah.
know when it's gonna be.
Yeah. So
And with how the
and
world
that's
is
a great
right
yeah.
now, it may be sooner rather than later, but we'll see when we get there.
Yeah,
But
because
I liked that a
that's a
lot.
great point. Yeah, because it really does. This really does that make this a perfect
We
follow up for the
destroyed
Odyssey.
Zeus's law,
Yeah,
and
because
I
like
I
the
like that.
Bronze Age collapse was one of the great collapses of civilization of all time. It was basically an apocalypse. I mean, it was, and the thing is, historians, it's more kind of, it's a lot more convoluted, the reasons behind it, because there's multiple reasons behind the Bronze Age collapse. It was kind of a perfect storm, perfect shit storm of, drought, war, the sea peoples, which was mentioned in the film,
Hmm.
the sea peoples, invasion of the sea peoples,
Yeah.
who pretty much conquered everybody except fucking Egypt. And even Egypt was severely weakened by them. But I mean, yeah, I mean, so yeah, the Bronze Age collapse led to a Dark Age, and especially like they call it the Greek Dark Ages, where the Greeks lost even writing for a few hundred years, and until about 700 or so is when Greek write 700 or 800 or so is around the time that Greek writing first starts to appear, and when you get the Greek alphabet, which was adapted from the Phoenicians,
Yeah.
So I mean, but yeah, it literally led to a Dark Ages, so. And since Devin would want me to do this at this point,
This has been Top Marks with Mr. Thompson.
Very nice. But yeah, I really liked that. Like because it really shows, especially like on just like Nolan just fucking predicting like the shitstorm of the internet, like with this movie alone,
mhm,
of like destroying of Zeus's law. It's like like the idea of just the basic idea of like what would happen with
yeah, basic courtesy to strangers.
monolithic, is that the word for it? Religions where it's like treat others the way you want to be treated. That's
Yeah,
essentially the modern
Yeah.
interpretation of Zeus's law, where it's like treat everyone
mhm,
like a god so you don't get cursed. But it's just like it's the basic idea of like it's not just like, oh, just in case they're a god. It's just treat your people, treat humanity, treat your fellow man like another human being,
mhm,
like
Yeah.
how
yeah,
you want to be treated. And like it's just you know Odyssey as being like we with what we did, and like him, like that whole scene where it's like from his perspective, just seeing the fucking fall of Troy, essentially just murdering people in the streets, the entire
Yeah.
city on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Just like we took advantage of somebody's belief in the gods and
Exactly.
belief in humanity and use that as a weakness. And you could, make the argument like how we never really came back from that ever again
Yeah.
because of how greedy and terrible and humanity kind of has become, like, not since then specifically, just like in terms of what we are.
Yeah,
now.
how it
It's like-
seems to be kind of part of our nature in our, like you said, how it seems to be kind of
like
part
that's
of our nature
why
to destroy ourselves.
and this is why
we seem to go through cycles of this.
And this is why Terminator 3 isn't that bad, because yes, they did yes, it was like, oh, we stopped Judgment Day,
agree.
but we didn't, because the thing is, I get it, people were mad about that, but the reason Terminator 3, I mean, it's a terrible movie,
I
but
loved
the
it.
reason Terminator 3 kind of works, it's like, you can delay Judgment Day, but it is in our fucking veins and our
Exactly.
hearts and our minds to fucking destroy ourselves. So Judgment Day is gonna happen eventually, whether you fucking like it or not.
I
I
agree.
mean,
I
it-
love
Yeah, Judgment Day is inevitable, according to
It's
Arnold.
just like,
Yeah.
and I know, like, people, oh, that's just a stupid way so that a sequel could happen. And yeah, sure, you're probably right. But I view it as like, no, it's just we inherently like just want to fucking kill
and I like
ourselves.
that line that he said. It was never about preventing Judgment Day. It was about surviving it.
Yeah.
And
And that was like, the whole idea, like, our mistakes will be forgotten. And I just like that's just a fucking emotional gut punch right there, because it's just so fucking true. And it just makes, like, even as someone who has become at least more hopeful as the days have gone by, like, it still hurts, because it's like, it's so fucking true, though.
Yeah.
It's so fucking true. Like, what we learned with the mistakes we've made and how we learn from those mistakes, and it's just like, nope, none of that will be remembered. We'll just remember, oh yeah, no, this is how we do things. It's like, no, that's not how you do things. That's how you destroy yourselves. And
exactly.
yeah,
Hey,
it's
Joey.
not great.
Good to see you, man. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree with you, brother. I mean, yeah. So I mean, yeah, that's a big thing, and Rob can tell you the same thing. That's a big thing from the Odyssey. I mean, how the politeness of strangers is, this, and that was a big thing in the ancient world across cultures.
Yeah.
This belief that, like, honestly, if you read like Genesis, the main reason Sodom and Gomorrah were destroyed was because rudeness to strangers. They were extremely impolite to strangers. I mean, because politeness to strangers, because I mean, with so many people being on the road, politeness to strangers was like, hospitality to strangers was like, and still is in that part of the world, a very, very core value. I mean, so it still is in that part of the world. So I mean, like in the Middle East. I mean,
Yeah.
other places.
It's
Just
so
expect
there was that. I thought that was a really interesting theme. PTSD, you already mentioned that.
Yeah.
The idea of war, it's obvious, but it's like, when until the day we get world peace, we're never going to stop making stories about how the atrocities of war.
Yeah.
So, it that worked. I'm just trying to think of everything, so I just like don't forget anything. Like,
So much.
There's just so much.
The effects are great. Like, it's
Yeah.
pretty much all practical. I mean, that's
yeah.
kind of the Nolan way at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked that as well. I think, yeah, it just like I loved. God, I liked Corey Hawkins too. He was really good. He was the black guy. He was like Robert Pattinson's like kind of friend, I guess. Polybus, I think his name was.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro got fucking Charlie Kirked with an arrow. I was like, damn, okay, hold
But
on.
I actually just remember, honestly, when I think of him, I always think of like what he says. I think he might be a DC.
Oh my
Like,
god, it's
DC.
and it's like, bro, wow, Odysseus straight literally went for the jugular.
Exactly.
But
So
yeah,
like
I
Joey
liked that
really
as
liked it too.
well.
Yeah.
I don't know what else is there. Like I liked the themes. I liked the
Yeah.
I liked the most of the acting. I liked
Yeah.
the action. I
I've
like how it was paced. Very well done.
I
I
agree with
think
this.
I don't know what else to say. Like I love the movie. I thought it was great.
It
I
is
do
a
have a
great
couple
movie.
things that I do want to mention for mixed and negative. I know nobody else does, and that's fine.
I mean,
But
I've got the only I don't have any big negatives. Only mix might have is it's definitely a nitpick than anything.
yeah,
It's
so we could talk
definitely a
about mixed
nitpick.
if you
So
want.
okay, we'll just go ahead and get that out of the way because the only mixed I
Yeah,
might
because I
have
don't
is
have any mixed.
the the only one might have, and it's like I said, it's definitely a nitpick. As someone who's read it, I wish that it could have been a little bit longer so they can maybe
Yeah.
include more elements from the book. Because I
Mhm.
mean, there were certain things that were omitted. I mean, I get when it comes to adaptation, changes have to be made. Certain things are going to have to be omitted. I get
Mhm.
that. So I get that, and
Yeah.
it's not just, and it's whether it's a book or a TV show or a video
Yeah.
game. I mean, hell, I love Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and even that wasn't 100% accurate to Sonic Adventure 2, and it's the same way here. But I felt like maybe you could have just maybe make it like 3 hours and 10 minutes or something.
Well, the thing is that's the problem. They can't because due to the fact that the entirety of this movie was shot on IMAX 70mm, they literally cannot fit a film reel that is longer than 3 hours.
Yeah.
So
right.
that's why there was a lot of cutting with this movie
Mhm.
because
gotcha.
they couldn't make it long. That's why Oppenheimer was 3 hours on the fucking dot.
Yeah.
That was also filmed
That's
mostly
fine.
with
Yeah,
IMAX
that's fine.
cameras. So
But
yeah,
but like I
that
said,
was
but like I said, that's just a nitpick than anything, and
Yeah.
it doesn't
like
it doesn't
I do hope there's an extended cut on home video because I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like
me too.
I definitely wanted this to be like 4 to 5 hours long. I would
Oh
have fucking
yeah, I could
watched it. I don't care.
Jesus, yeah.
I like what I would have loved to have seen if like Nolan had all the money in the world, had carte blanche to do whatever he wanted. Fucking Odyssey trilogy that was like all in 1 year, and each of them was like 3 to 4 hours long. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but a man can dream. So I do have a couple mixed again. These were mainly nitpicks. So for me, as I kept saying, like the acting was exceptional. I don't think anybody's gonna agree with me on this, and that's fine. I do think Anne Hathaway was a little miscast. I thought she was very good, but I think that she did overact in a couple scenes that did take me out of it. And I'm like, but considering that she wasn't in the movie for very long and she still gave a very good performance,
Mhm.
that was a nitpick. Like, I don't think she did a bad job. Like, if like most people in this movie were like 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 performances, I would say she's probably an 8 out of 10. Like, it was still very good for what we got. I
Fair.
personally, I think Charlize Theron would have been a better Penelope, but that's just my opinion. But I still think Anne Hathaway, for the most part, did fine. It's just like there were a couple scenes where it was like, "Ooh, Nolan, that was the best take you could get." All right, okay. So that was a little iffy, and I will say, and I know for a fact, like I mentioned this already in like a comment section, and I got torched for it. Anne Hathaway still did a very good job. In terms of this, though, I thought John Leguizamo was very miscast as his role.
Really? Wow.
I
But I
did
love
not care for him that much. I thought he was just John Leguizamo. Like I didn't see this character. I didn't see like this guy. Maybe it deserves a rewatch. Maybe I need to, I do plan to rewatch it in 70mm because
yeah.
I do have a theater, like an actual IMAX 70mm theater near me. So I do plan to take advantage of that. If I can get tickets to that, which I don't know if I can because it's probably all the way sold out, and I'm not paying a scalper on eBay fucking $7,000.
Probably sold out through September. Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll double check. Who
Yeah.
knows? Like I'll watch it like from like right there, like next to the screen. I'll blind myself. It's fine. But I just didn't. Again, like he gave like a solid like 6.5, 7 out of 10 performance. Like not nobody was bad in this movie. Like nobody was atrociously awful, like at all. Definitely not. No, nobody was bad. Nobody was bad in this movie. Like, but it just like those two were, especially when you had someone like Pattinson, Damon, Holland, Patel, Morton, Theron, who gave these amazing 10 out of 10 performances. They were a little bit more noticeable for me personally. And I didn't buy it. Like, there were a couple emotional scenes with Leguizamo where he did a fine job, but it's just like I felt like he was pretty miscast. But again, not terrible. These are nitpicks. Another nitpick I had was something I noticed like a lot, especially with the fact that this is a rated R movie. I noticed they cut away from violence a lot. Like they would cut away at the last second. Like for instance, whenever someone's throat would get slit, you never saw blood. And I'm like, it's rated R though. Like I'm curious why. It was probably a creative choice. Maybe the idea of like, you know, holding back, and then Troy was so awful that they wanted to save the violence for that. But I noticed that it was a very weird like editing choice. It's like I felt like they were filmed for longer, but they had to cut away at the last second. So because I noticed that on and on and on, like when somebody would get stabbed, when somebody would get their throat slit, I noticed that it was like these weird cuts that would like cut away from
that
the
may have
violence at
been
the last second.
that may have been, you know, so they have preserved the R rating actually instead of going, because you know if you go too much blood they will.
Yeah, that is true. And I mean there is the scene with the Cyclops where you see fucking organs fall out of somebody's cell.
Yeah.
Again, it's not a nitpick. It's just like I noticed that, like, especially towards the end when Tom Holland slits the servant's throat, Logan Marshall Green. I don't remember anybody's character name because I can't fucking pronounce half of them anyway. So, like, the fact that I remember Odysseus, Penelope, and Telemachus, I don't fucking remember anybody else. But so I noticed that, and again, it was like he was from behind, he was about to do it, and then it like cuts away at the last second. I'm like, oh, that's weird, and I'm like, I don't think he needed to do that as much, but again, nitpick. And I will say, the sound design for the most part was very good. How maybe it was just my theater, I don't know. Nolan does do the Nolan thing where the music drowns out the dialogue half the time. I noticed that like a lot of the time, maybe my hearing is just terrible now, but I noticed that like a lot of the time for me was like I had trouble hearing the dialogue, and a lot of the times the music was very, very loud. Like it happened with Interstellar, it happened with Dunkirk, it kind of happened with Tenet a little bit. It didn't happen with Oppenheimer. I'm like, oh, Nolan finally knows how to fucking make it so that we can hear fucking dialogue. And then he goes, damn it, Nolan, dude, come on.
Would that be more of a negative or a mix?
Ludwig Göransson's score is phenomenal, but we need to hear dialogue.
Would that be more of a negative or a mix? The sound mixing.
The sound is mixed. The sound is mixed because it didn't kill the movie. Because like I could like discern most of it, and the music was so fucking good anyway that I'm like, whatever.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So again, that's a little bit more of a flaw than a nitpick, but it's still a mixed flaw. Like it didn't kill like it didn't change my rating. When I talk about negatives, which I will do right now, is when something brings down the rating for me. Because you're probably like to the people who told me I told my score to, like, why is it that and not what we gave it? Because much like how, like, for instance, Killers of the Flower Moon is a great example. That is a 10 out of 10 movie that is fucking ruined by its pacing. Like, I understand that movie needed to be 3 hours, but it still was atrociously slow that it took a 10 out of 10 movie and brought it down to an 8 out of 10. For me, in the first half, mainly, the editing was so fucking choppy. Like, I noticed that, like, you can tell that, like, they had to cut. I'm gonna take a wild guess that, like, this was more than 3 hours. Like, I would say maybe 3 hours 15 minutes, 3 hours 20. But Nolan was like, we got to cut it down because of the IMAX 70 millimeter reel. And I noticed that there was a lot of weird cuts cuts throughout the like mainly the first half where it just like it cuts to like different characters at different angles. Like a dialogue scene is just like and it's like, oh, okay, like God, I feel bad if anybody has epilepsy. Jesus Christ. But it just and it was disorienting. It took me out of it, and I was a little confused on what was going on because the cuts were like so awkward and so choppy, and I was like, wait a minute, hang on, what's going on here? And then as time went on, it did smooth itself out, and the second half was very well edited. But that first half, I noticed the editing was super choppy, and that took me out of it because I'm like, I don't know if this is a perfect 10 out of 10 for me because this editing is just kind of bringing it down. So I was a little worried that I'm like, oh, am I not gonna like this movie? And then once, like, I want to say like after like maybe halfway through the first half of the second act, like so like a little bit past the first act, maybe like 30-45 minutes in, maybe an hour. After that, it was fine. Like it was okay. But for me, I noticed that editing was really disorienting, and I really did not care for that. I thought that was the biggest flaw for me. Again, does it ruin the movie? Absolutely not. We're going to get into our score soon enough, and you'll see why. But for me, that was the thing that I really noticed, and it was really disorienting for me, and I really didn't like that. But you know, maybe, and as I said, that's partly the reason why I would want to see an extended cut, because I'm like, would those awkward cuts be better and they would be smoothed out and it would feel more like smooth because like, okay, Nolan's like, well, I don't have 70 millimeter to worry about, it's going to home video, so I can just extend it however long I want. So so that's the only negative. Like everything else, like again, some of those casting choices were good, but I feel like not as good as they should have been. The sound design was a little iffy, and the cutting away from the violence was a little iffy. But again, maybe that was an editing choice. I don't know. But yeah, but those are like the quote unquote flaws I have with the movie. The only major one being that editing.
Before we go to overall thoughts, I want to ask Mark something. So since you did see the 1997 miniseries and you did read the book, what would you say was more of an accurate adaptation? Would you say it was the miniseries or this?
Probably the miniseries, I would say. Have you seen the miniseries?
Me? Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the miniseries.
Wouldn't you agree? I would say the miniseries is more technically accurate to the book. But I mean,
it's honestly hard to say which one was the more accurate because there were some things that were in one version,
true,
and that were
not in the other.
And it's like, because the thing is that the miniseries pretty much like the remainder of Odysseus's crew of men, the remainder of them got killed by Charybdis and Scylla. While this, because it omitted the whole don't kill the cattle thing.
True. And this one did, and I love the way it did. Because
go on. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, no, I was just I love the way it did. It's been a long time since I read the Odyssey. It's been like probably 20 years since I reread it. But I mean, it's been a good while. Matter of fact,
but it's really hard to say which one was a more accurate because both of them have.
This was actually surprisingly accurate to the book. I mean, it still left out some things, of course.
I mean,
even for 3 hours, you're not going to get everything.
No, honestly, the only way I could see you getting everything is if it's actually like a TV show or something.
Yeah, if you're doing like it would have to be like a miniseries.
Pretty much. So.
Like a 3 or 5 part miniseries, like a good.
Exactly.
But I mean, but yeah, I mean, I thought it did extremely well, So I mean, but I mean, I guess my overall thoughts. I mean, Nolan does it again. I mean, he does the Odyssey in fairly accurate depiction for the book. Yes, the armor is more like, people would expect armor, even though it's not accurate to Bronze Age armor. but nobody cares about that. Nobody's ever depicted accurate Bronze Age armor on screen, and honestly, it would look goofy as hell anyway. Honestly, in my opinion, even though you'll see a lot of other history nerds say, "Oh no, that would be cool to see." Okay, I mean, I can tell you right now, most people would be making fun of the Bronze Age armor. It looks kind of ridiculous. And it would be very awkward to move around. In that
Like, I
shit.
remember, for instance, sorry to cut you off, but I remember
Oh, go
someone
ahead.
like posting like a side by side when that first image of Matt Damon dropped in that armor, and then they posted the accurate Bronze Age armor,
Yeah.
and I'm looking back and forth. I'm like, wow, that looks fucking stupid.
Thank you. Exactly. Exactly.
Like, it has that weird helmet thing. It has
Yeah.
like the gold, so like, well, not gold, but
Mhm.
like it like looks gold, and it was like
Yeah.
those like. It just looks fucking mad weird to me,
Yeah,
and I know
yeah.
like, oh, you're a fucking bitch. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever, it's fine. It's
Exactly.
It's I get it. So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So I mean, but if you're, if you're just watching a movie to have a good time, like the way the vast majority of the audience is, yeah, you're gonna love it. Because I mean, this is Nolan doing Nolan's thing with probably the greatest action story of adventure story of all time. So, I mean, and he does it just beautifully. It feels both grounded and accurate to the book at the same time, and he does it in a very unique Nolan-esque way, like the way that Athena appeared to him as this, that you see it's revealed. And this is the way I love it, how they saved the actual sack of Troy. You don't see it until right before the end, when he's talking to her, and, you see, and you really see his trauma there, so you see everything that he saw. Because I mean, this is a guy who's seen war at its worst, and he's traumatized by it.
Oh, also, I forgot to mention, even though you never see his face, Agamemnon, I think his name is.
Yeah, I love that. And they say,
really
good.
You don't see it till the very, very end. Yeah,
You don't.
Not
Exactly.
the very, very end, but I mean, it was like, I think it was in hell. It was in hell.
Yeah, it was in the underworld. Yeah.
The underworld.
Yeah, where he finally took off his helmet. Yeah, and
I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool too. And I see obviously why they made his armor that way, that unique way, to mark him out so you could see who he is. Like Jack was saying, that his appearance, like when they open the gates of Troy, when you see him standing there, it just looks so badass.
Agamemnon, more like Oramnon, am I right?
Seriously. Seriously,
anyway, I forgot to
this
mention
guy's
that,
all forming to hell.
I'm sure there's tons of things we forgot to mention about this movie.
But I mean,
oh yeah,
but, I'm sure there is. But if we did that, this stream would be 6 hours long.
Yeah, honestly. So I'm just going to tell you, I mean, it's fantastic. It's, it's probably the most perfect movie I've seen this year. So, I mean, I got to say, for my rating is a very solid 10 out of 10. This is like top 3 Nolan to me. And I'd like when you guys give your overall,
it's probably top 5. But again, I
Yeah.
haven't seen every.
It is definitely top 5.
I haven't seen
At least top
Memento,
5,
Insomnia, Prestige, Inception. I haven't seen
Yeah.
a lot of his movies. I know.
There's only 1 or 2 of his that I haven't seen. I've seen Insomnia. Insomnia is very
I've
good.
actually seen his directorial debut with The Following, which is actually
I haven't seen that.
good.
That's the one I haven't seen.
I think
Yeah.
last time I checked, it's still free on Tubi. So
I'm gonna have to watch that.
it's definitely intriguing. Like, you could tell, like, you're not Nolan, you're not there yet, but the seeds are there. Like, it's definitely, it's definitely really interesting.
Yeah, Joy rates it 9 out of 10, and
Awesome.
me, solid 10 out of 10 for me.
So-
This is just an
so-
amazing fucking movie.
So for me, this is just a fantastic movie, and this guy have already spoiled my rating.
Sorry.
So, but it's all right. It's all right. My score is a 10 out of 10. This movie is amazing. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. While you were speaking, Mark, I actually got my ticket to see it in IMAX next Saturday. I said, screw it. So I said, screw it. I'm seeing it 3 times.
Nice.
Because I want to see it in IMAX. And
I want to see it in IMAX too. Yeah.
You know what?
And that's
You know
the thing
what?
I was saying. Well, it's like I was saying, it's like this man crafts cinematic experiences. This is what he does.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody can say a theater is going to be this guy.
You know what, Mark?
Yeah.
You didn't see it in IMAX, did you?
No, I just saw it in standard.
Join me then. Join me next week.
I might
Why
be
not?
able to. I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to because I typically go to Jamie's on the weekends, and my sister, I
Oh.
think she texted me. She wanted me to
Well,
come up there.
if-
and I haven't got
If
back
you're
to her.
free, if you're free, the invitation's open, man. So,
All right, man.
but I'm going to see it next week. This is a fantastic movie. What more can we say? It's honestly, that is definitely in my top 5 of Nolan films. I'd really have to think about it to see if it's really in the top 3. So if after rewatches, maybe it will get way better. So,
Yeah.
but this is an absolutely must watch. And yeah, I'm gonna go 10 out of 10. So
Yeah,
there you go.
yeah. Sorry about that again.
And hey, you watched the worst of 2025 video, or I did the same thing, although nobody
Yeah.
noticed except me.
Yeah. For me, I thought it was pretty much phenomenal in almost every facet. I thought, from the acting to the action to the themes to the story to everything. The only thing that prevents me from giving it a 10 out of 10 is that editing in the first half. I thought it was choppy and confusing, and yeah, a couple other nitpicks, but those were kind of whatever, barely anything. They don't subtract from my score. But if I were to give it, I'd give it 9.5 out of 10. It's excellent. It's an excellent film. It just, for me, I found that editing to be a little bit too disorienting. So I'm unfortunately, I couldn't give it a 10 out of 10. But hey, maybe if I rewatch it, maybe it won't be as bad and I'll appreciate it more. So, we'll see.
Yeah. So that's our stream, and so you have 4 very enthusiastic recommendations for this film, guys. So we hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for joining us, and we will see you later. What is our next review?
Our next review is actually not a movie at all, but it is a game. It is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. We are going to be reviewing that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Going to be very different, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, good times.
It's gonna be hosted by Austin.
Yep.
Oh, Austin. Okay,
Yeah,
Austin.
Austin. Because he was the one that was most excited for that game.
And after that is thanks a lot, Joey. You have a good night too, man. After that comes Spider-Man Brand New Day.
So got a
Spider-Man
double
Brand New Day.
superhero thing going on.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Starring again, Tom Holland. I mean, hey, it's a month for Tom Holland.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really.
Month for Zendaya.
Yeah, and Zendaya, you too, exactly. So, but thank you very much for joining us, and you guys take it easy. See you later. Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, Ithaca. You're still